My name is Saeed El Haddad. I have received a couple of questions regarding the creating the virtual lab and the machine required in order to do all the labs. In this probably 10 to 15 minutes tutorial, I will try to do my best to walk you through the process, the main steps required to do so. So the first thing we need to do, the first thing I will cover is downloading and installing a virtualization solution. The reason why, because there are dozens of solutions out there. For instance, there is a Microsoft hypervisor, which is built in server in Windows 8, Server 2008 R2, and also in Server 2012. That's a good solution, and that's a valid one if you like it. Next one, and it's a VMware player. It's a very important and major player in virtualizations. And if you ask me, this is the one that I prefer, the one that I use a lot. I do use VMware product a lot. Next one, we'll also show you VMware Fusions, where to download it. VMware Fusion is for those of you who have Mac and you can't use neither Microsoft Hypervisor or VMware Player. Therefore, you're going to need a Fusion, and I'll show you. And as a matter of fact, Fusions and VMware Player are very, very similar. And I'll be using Fusion since I have Mac. I'll be using Fusion to do the demos. Finally, there is a VirtualBox. It's a non-commercial. It's free. It's open source. It works for Mac. It also works for PC. It's a little bit different than VMware product or Microsoft Hypervisor or Hyper-V, but more than 80% are almost the same. All these programs are built in exactly the same idea. If you use one, and you know how to use one, you shouldn't have any trouble using the other. And the second one I will talk about is where to download Server 2012 R2 180 days. And third steps, the third thing I will talk about is creating virtual machine and installing and operating systems. So first of all, let us go to different type of virtualization. I'm going to go right here. I included the links right here. If you want to install a VMware, first of all, the Microsoft Hyper-V is built in. There's nothing to download. Like I said, it's built in Windows 8, built in Server 2008 R2, and also in Server 2012 64 bits. VMware Player, if you want to download, follow this link. I will post this one. If you follow the link, you should find yourself here. Right? I'm going to go back a little bit here. Right? If you just go and download on Google VMware Player and hit enter, the second option right here will be a VMware Player. Again, it's free. It's free for non-commercials, right? And what you want, you click here and download it, right? Once you download it, you can go ahead and install it, right? This is for Windows. For those who have Mac like myself, what you want, it's VMware Fusion. VMware Fusion. Again, there is a 30 days trial. I think there is a 30 days trial for VMware Fusions, and after that, if you decide to buy it, I think it's cost about $60 or $70, right? If you're interested, let me know. I'll give you a link where you may get some discounts, right? So this is VMware Fusions. You can either download the 8 or the Pro. The 8 will be just fine. Will do the job. Finally, the VirtualBox. VirtualBox, if you Google VirtualBox, it'll bring you right here to if you Google VirtualBox, it should bring you right here to virtualbox.org. Now, if you have a PC, you want to download the first one right here, and it said VirtualBox for Windows. VirtualBox for Windows. If you have Mac, again, this is where you want to go. You go and download your VirtualBox for Mac right here. The installation is simple, straightforward. I'm sure there are dozens of how-to in YouTube to download. Now, once you download the program and install it, next thing is downloading Microsoft, what do you call it, Server 2012 R2. I have the link over here. If you click the link and you follow it, it should bring you right here to this page, all right, to all Microsoft download Windows Server Evaluations TechNet Evaluation Center, and you'll be asked, before you download, you'll be asked to create an account and register with Microsoft. Then you'll have this link right here, and you click on it, download, and you download it. It's about 3 something gig, almost 4 gigs, so expect it to take, like, depend on your on broadband connection, to take half an hour, if not even more than that. Now I will move to our step here to creating a virtual machine. That's what I'm going to do. And like I said, I am going to use VMware Fusion, but if you are using a VMware Player or VirtualBox or even Hyper-V, the process is almost the same. So I have already downloaded my ISO, and I have it right here. Sorry, not here. I have it right here with my ISOs right there, and this is Windows, and this is what I'm going to use today. I'm going to use R2 evaluation, as you see, it's right there. So I already downloaded it. All right, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to create, copy new virtual machines. All right. And I click new virtual machine, and I click install from a disk or image, and I click continue over here, and here it automatically finds my ISO, and if it doesn't find it, click here. So use another disk. That's what I'm going to do, and browse to where you downloaded your ISOs. And in my case, as you see it, it's right here. So choose open and click continue, and I am going to customize it because I'm going to build it based on the information that I gave you. So I'm going to hit customize over here. First of all, the name, I'm going to call it server A-DC, like I told you in the lab. All right, I already have one there, so there's a good chance it may tell me one is already exists. All right, if I will override it in case tell me that. I know that the name. So just for me, in my case, I'll add DC1. You don't have to add one, but just for me because I already did it before. So now I need to customize my virtual environment, my virtual machine. There are a couple things to do based on your computer. I'm going to go to you can go to processors, and by default, I'm almost positive all your virtual machine, all your computers or laptop or desktop may have 2 cores, if not more than that. So I'm going to do, I will assign it 2 cores to make it a bit faster. Memory, I know memory is very tight, so I'm going to put 1024, which is about 1 gig, Once I do that, once I change the memory and I do everything, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and start my machine. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start my machine. I click and play, and you can see it's going to start the installation from right here. Let's take a little bit. It's still taking a little bit. I have a couple. Oh, very good. I have another one in the back here. I'm going to turn off this one, and you can see it's booted from the ISO. You don't have to have a CDs to install. You can install it from the ISO. So the installation is going to start. Windows Server 2012. It will start. I am not going to go to the entire process, right? I'll go to the major process, the first important steps, and the rest of it, I'm sure you have done it before. If not, you can. So you're asked to choose what you want to install. We're going to install Server 2012. You can choose the language and the location, and I hit next here, and they said install, and I hit an install. Right, and the installation is going to start. I want you to pay attention to a couple steps that are very important. The rest of them are not really crucial, and you don't have to worry about them a lot. This steps, it's very important. You can't get caught in this step exactly forever. Watch. If you choose this step right here, the first one, you're about to install standard Server 2012 standard evaluation server core. What does a core mean? Core, you're downloading only the command line version of server 2012. I am sure that's not what you want. So be careful. Don't just choose next, select. So what we want for this course, we want the last one all the way down. We want Windows Server 2012 data center evaluations and 64 GUI. So the GUI, graphical user interface, not the core. Anytime you choose a core, you are installing the command line only, and it will not work for you. So I'd hit next right here, right? Accept the license, right? And what I'm going to do, I want to show you this. I'm going to go to custom install right here, and you see I have 60 gig over here. That's what I'm going to use. I highly recommend that you two guys use 60 gig or higher, depending on your space, right? If you by mistake you create something and you want to delete all your partition, you can delete all the partition and create new and go from there if you want to. Otherwise, just select it and hit next, right? And this process will take probably about 10 to 15 minutes. I don't want to stay here. I don't want you to stay looking at this the whole time. So I'm going to stop right here, and I'll come back, create another video where we're going to make it part 2.